Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of UA Eats. I'm UA, and today we're back in Jersey City, and we're specifically in the Journal Square area, a food neighborhood that I really like here in Jersey City, which you can tell by a kind of unofficial landmark behind us. These huge Journal Squared luxury buildings, which I've kind of been casually calling the Two Towers, like from Lord of the Rings. Saruman is at the top of these towers, you know, plotting his betrayal of the Fellowship. Anyways, the reason why we're in Jersey City today, and specifically Journal Square, is because I'm really craving Indian food today. Now, I know you guys know that I love steak and I love deli sandwiches and sushi and all that, but I really get down for Indian food, and Indian food is one of the foods that really excites me every time I have a chance to eat it. Now, in this New York area, lots of people know all about Murray Hill, or also known as Curry Hill colloquially, but to be honest, New York City is not really a mecca for Indian food. That's really New Jersey. Jersey City and Edison, New Jersey are where it's at in this greater New York area when it comes to Indian food. So we're gonna be going to the famous Jersey City India Square to get really authentic Indian food. Specifically, we're gonna take a bit of a break from our meat-heavy diet, particularly beef, and we're gonna be eating an amazing vegetarian meal, and no one does vegetarian food like Indian people. We're going to not just a vegetarian restaurant, we're going to a place that specializes primarily in eggs, like an egg-focused restaurant. So sorry, it's not vegan, but it is vegetarian, so let's go check it out. Okay, so we're at the famous India Square here in Journal Square, Jersey City, New Jersey. This is really where it's at in the immediate New York City area for Indian food. And it's actually regarded, believe it or not, as one of the densest Indian communities in the world outside of India, if you can believe it, this one street. And it's even right next to where Harold and Kumar went to White Castle. I'm just kidding, that's not true. I actually met Kalpen once, believe it or not, and he said the movie was actually filmed in Canada and not New Jersey, so just a bit of a joke there. One of my favorite movies, by the way. But it's getting a little chilly here in October, so let's warm up with some delicious Indian food. Okay, so we're here at Eggmania. We're here for lunch, and they are open for lunch, luckily. Now, the street may look pretty sleepy right now because we're really on an off-peak day. We're here on a weekday for lunch, and you know, this place does get pretty dead, this whole India Square area during the weekdays. You know, a lot of these people have work, so lunch is really off-peak for this neighborhood. But if you come at nighttime, particularly the weekend and particularly around like 9 o'clock, this place gets really jumping. I really wish we had time to come film at nighttime. Maybe we could do a follow-up video sometime. But at nighttime, this place is pretty festive and pretty poppin'. Anyways, let's get some lunch. Okay guys, so we are inside Eggmania. Now this place specializes only in eggs, primarily in eggs. Definitely a more simple restaurant, not exactly eating at like a Michelin star vibe here, but it's often these kind of places that I like. Like this vibe feels a little hole-in-the-wall like, but I'm excited for this. Sometimes when you get these like more simple hole-in-the-wall vibes, that means that they really focus on the food, less so on the bells and whistles. Although they definitely have some funny puns on the wall, some nice excellent puns. And you guys know me, I love a good pun when I see one. Let's take a look at their menu. Now I do like Indian food. I don't claim to be an expert. I have eaten Indian food quite a bit over the past several years, and let me tell you, Indian food is so much more than what a lot of people think of it as. A lot of people think of Indian food as being mostly like chicken tikka masala, butter chicken, like the kind of Indian food that was popular in the UK for a while due to it being sweeter, but it really is so much more than that. So not going to pretend to be an expert on any of this by any means. I am not Indian, nor have I ever been to India. Everything looks pretty good and relatively well priced and inexpensive, I think, for the most part. Let's go with a few things though that I hear are must gets. I hear this egg katori is a must. It's basically like deviled eggs, like an Indian deviled eggs, half-boiled eggs with masala. Masala being basically like a spicy spiced paste or like a sauce. sort of like a curry. You can almost use curry and masala almost interchangeably. They're not exactly the same, but they tend to be very similar. And then, you know, I was about to get the egg curry because I hear the egg curry is pretty good, but the owner here actually talked me into getting the Surti gotala. Totally gonna butcher all these pronunciations, by the way, so apologies. But yeah, he said that this is hard-boiled egg, more shredded inside, and, you know, a runnier yolk, and he said that this is the most popular thing here amongst the locals. So gotta go with the local tip. And there's only so much stuff I can get, you know, this is lunch. It's not exactly dinner after fasting for a whole day or something like that. So, you know, I wish I could get more things, but let's just do a rice dish. You know, these Bombay grill sandwiches look good too, but I'm really craving like a rice dish. So I hear that the rice dish to get here, Volcano biryani. Boiled egg rice with an omelet base with spicy gravy topped with shredded cheese. Can't wait for that. Let's go order. Also, if someone can read the language, can someone tell me what this joke is here? The other ones are all in English, but I can't exactly read that one, nor do I get the reference, so if anyone can translate this for me in the comments, much appreciated.
Is that katori?
Okay, thank you. Alright, our first appetizer has arrived, the egg katori. And yeah, kind of like I said, it's a lot like deviled eggs, right? They have some masala on top, some eggs on top. For some reason, the way it was described on the menu, I thought the cheese was going to be melted, but that's okay. I think cheese doesn't always have to be melted to be quite satisfying. It could be a little bit British influenced, where in England, people tend to like to eat chips with cheese. Like in the US, cheese fries are usually at least melted, if not like saucy and liquidy. So I think this might be more similar to like the British chips and cheese, where the chips are not melted and you really taste that stringy, more raw cheese flavor. Looking pretty good. Some spicy eggs with cheese. So let's just dive right into one of these, why don't we? Oh, that is excellent. It's spicy, and not just like spicy like hot. There's also like spice flavor, like it's spice ridden. But you know, sometimes when you eat at Indian restaurants in the US that are more average, sometimes it's like you mostly taste spice and oil and not too much else. But these are spicy, but they're like so well balanced. Let me remove some of the cheese just so that you can kind of see the masala a little bit more clearly. But just look at that masala paste. Not too oily, not too greasy, not too spicy. So to clarify, you can control your spice level here. They do ask. They say most people do medium. I made sure to have them be honest with me. I said, by most people, do you mean Indian people or do you mean, you know, non-Indian people? Gentiles. Well, I don't think that's the right word, but you know what I mean. He said most people get medium, and he said, you know what, I'm gonna give it to you at the spice level that most of the locals get it at. And I see why, because he said if you like it hotter, you can get hot and we can add more heat. But he said most people get it at this medium level, and it's well balanced, and you taste that spice, but it's not like lighting my mouth on fire, you know, like you have some nice pleasant spice tickling your mouth, but it's not like, oh, I can taste the spice and, you know, I need some milk to calm myself down. Eating doesn't always have to be like a spice challenge, you know? You want to be able to really taste the food. So these delicious spice flavors, a bit of heat, and the cold cheese on top just really adds like a great dimension. And the eggs are fresh as well. Sorry, we're just gonna sacrifice this one just to dive in a little bit deeper. Oh man, look, I almost wondered if the masala paste was only on top, but it almost looks like, yeah, the masala is just completely cooked into the egg yolk, it looks like. I even almost wonder if this was like cooked in advance and then kind of stuffed back into the egg, like repurposed, which I don't hate. I mean, it's delicious either way. Guys, if you like eggs, you like Indian food, or you even just don't hate it, and as long as you don't have no spice tolerance, I highly recommend you try these Indian deviled eggs. Shoot, what were they called again? I think it was egg katori? Yes, egg katori. I highly recommend you try this, because this is one of the best apps I've had in months. Oh. The best part is that the egg tastes almost kind of creamy, like not dry like boiled eggs often are, not like a dry chalky yolk. The egg yolk is almost creamy and buttery, and it's amazing. Let's save our appetite. All right, you know what? One more. Oh, okay. And that's the toast. All right, looks like our food is here. So, let's not leave unfinished business first. Alright, so this is the curry dish we ordered. This is called Surti Gotala. Once again, apologies for butchered pronunciations. I did ask him if I should get like a roti or a chapati bread to eat this with, but he said that actually most people eat this with buttered toast, which makes sense. It is kind of a misconception that Indian food is usually all flatbreads. Actually, these more Western style breads are quite popular. Like for things like pav bhaji, which are basically like these little slider buns eaten with like vegetarian foods, like little mini hamburger buns almost. So it really makes sense that in this case, to eat like a thick egg curry, you want like a thicker buttered toast because it's more structurally able to hold it. And eggs and toast, you know? Goes hand in hand, so it all makes sense. Let's try a piece of toast with this. Actually, that might be a bit too big, so let's break this down to a smaller size, why don't we? Try a bite of this curry, and man, it's steaming hot. Interesting, let's try another bite. Bite number 2. It's definitely good. I think maybe I just started with an app that I like so much, the egg katori, that maybe I just like this one less. You know, it's suffering by comparison. Once again, it's a well-balanced curry, just like the last one. I like the creamy consistency. I definitely see how they're able to do that by using the egg yolk. That might be also where this pleasant shine is coming from. That's making it hard for me to really get, there you go, that's better. It's really making it hard for me to get like the angle that I want, you know? But unless I hold it at like the perfect angle, it's gonna give like a shine, and that might be that egg yolk doing that. I guess I would say this one is definitely spicier, and I don't mind that. You know, I definitely have spice tolerance. This one, the spice definitely hits you a little bit more. It's a little bit stronger and less balanced compared to the egg appetizer, but I feel like this has good spice flavor, good texture, but I just feel like it's missing like a bit of a oomph, like a wow factor about it. Let's not abandon all hope, so maybe we gotta eat it with some piece of the egg. Let's get a little bit more of the curry on top. See if this really does the trick. Actually, I don't taste the egg that much, especially because it's mostly egg white. The yolk flavor is mostly in the sauce itself. But I think just the fact that I took more, you know how I took the egg white and then I put a bigger glop of curry on top of it? I think just the fact that I ate more of it really amplified its flavor. I have one motto that I live by: don't make the same mistake twice. So just get a whole lot of this curry. Egg white, sure, why not? Oh, the food's here.
Volcano biryani.
Whoa, look at that. Thank you. Before we eat that, we gotta finish eating this. Okay, I take back 50-70% of the stuff I said. Just eat more of it. Incredible dish. The egg flavor is subtle, spice is well balanced, and it's piping hot. But it is time now to try the Volcano biryani. And it does look like a volcano. I guess I was expecting it to be a higher volcano. This is more like a domed volcano. But I guess it makes sense, because if they make it too high and too thin, the rice is gonna fall apart. And you know, growing up when you eat those mashed potatoes, and you know when you make a mound with the mashed potatoes and you pour the gravy in it, you make like a mashed potato volcano with gravy. It looks like that concept can be done with rice as well. Let's just dive right in. I guess let's take a bite without the sauce or gravy first. Well, actually, I think I mostly got cheese. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Yeah, let's dig a little bit deeper. Biryani sometimes is like digging for gold. You just gotta dig through the delicious rice until you find some nice pieces of whatever you want, whether it's egg, onion, whatever. Okay, that looks like a nice heaping spoonful, I think. Very interesting. Let's take a bite with less of the cheese on top. More of a saucy bite with less of the mild cheese on top. Pretty good. Having just eaten the rice so far, my least favorite of what I ate so far. Not that it's bad, but just because, you know, if I have to rank them, which I guess I don't have to rank them, but we're ranking them. Very, very good, but I still prefer the other two dishes that I had today, with this one being for sure number one so far. This, I just feel like the rice has good spice flavor. Like, I love the spice mix they got going on here, and the cheese on top is a good contrast as well. And this is the spiciest out of all three things we ordered, but it's also well balanced and not overwhelming. But even this one, I guess I just feel like it's good. As far as biryanis go, I wouldn't say this is my favorite one so far. It's a little bit on the wet side. I like when biryanis really strike that balance between wet and dry, because you will find biryanis that are both. This one is a little on the wet end, which I think was by design, but just my personal preference. I think it would be nice if it were a bit drier. It would make it easier to keep eating spoonful and spoonful of it, but of course, just 100% my opinion, and as someone who is not an expert at all on Indian food. Still good though. Let's try it with more of the lava, aka sauce, why don't we? Delicious molten magma. You know what? I keep being proven wrong by eating everything wrong. I said it was a little bit wet, so you just gotta double down on the wetness. The problem was, I didn't eat it with enough of the gravy. Just eat it with as much of the gravy as you can, as wet as you can, and those spices become like a spice explosion, fitting for like a volcano, right? And like I said earlier, I said, oh, you know, the spices are balanced. It's hot, but it's not too hot. The spices work in harmony, but no, you just gotta eat it with as much of it as you can. Just douse the rice in the sauce. You really want to push this to that boundary of that line between an amazing excess of a good thing and overkill, and just barely don't make it there. Oh yeah. But yeah, anyways, I think that's gonna be it for this video. So we ate 3 excellent foods here: an amazing app, an amazing curry, and an amazing biryani rice. And I wound up liking everything. Anything that I may not have liked as much at first, I found out it was because I was eating it wrong. And if that was indeed the case, let me know in the comments. But yeah, I mean, on this channel we eat loads of meat. Steak, pastrami sandwiches, fried chicken, and it's hard for me to imagine living without meat. But let me tell you, no one does vegetarian food like Indian restaurants. And if every day I was eating amazing things like these, just amazing savory dishes with no animal protein at all, honestly, I might be able to do it. Even if you're not a vegetarian, I highly recommend you try some of this Indian vegetarian food sometime. And if you are a vegetarian or a vegan even, give Indian food a chance, because they are the true masters of this non-meat cuisine. Anyways, that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I believe Eggmania has a few locations around the US, so if you've eaten at Eggmania before, or if you have a favorite Indian restaurant that you recommend, vegetarian or not, or a specific Indian dish that you think I gotta try, let me know in the comments, because great minds eat alike. If you like my videos, make sure you like and subscribe. That way you stay up to date whenever I post another video. I gotta eat one more of these while they're fresh. So, until next time, I'll see you later.